Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.
Yeah.
What's going on, Chris? How you doing, man?
How you doing, Drew, man? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just playing daddy duty. So if you guys see my daughter running around and screaming,
Yeah.
I apologize. That's my life at the moment.
Yeah. Tell her to jump on, man.
She probably would love it. Would love it. What's going on, man?
I'm all good, man. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good, man. As good as I can be during these times.
That's it, man. Got to occupy yourself. Appreciate you taking the time out while you got the time to come on.
No doubt. My pleasure.
Yeah, yeah, man. No worries, man. And how you been dealing with this lockdown, man? How you been dealing with the quarantine? See, you've been doing a lot, man.
Man, I honestly, I got used to it. The very first day, it was tough because it was so abrupt. We went from playing the trophy finals, winning the trophy finals,
Yeah.
celebrating, into straight into lockdown. So, and you know, the way my day is, I'm always here, there, everywhere, back and forth from the house all day, from being in the house all day. So it was a little bit of struggle, but
Mm-hmm.
from that day, I kind of told myself, I was like, I can kind of see where this is going. I need to kind of get myself lined up. So I started, you know, teaching basketball, free basketball classes on Facebook Live. And then from there, that's spurred it into having online camps, and that's kept me going, to be honest.
Oh man, that's good, man. I see that. I was meant to come down to your finals. I was planning to come down to that, but with the COVID and all that kicked in. My main thing was to come and network, but then
Yeah, yeah,
when all this COVID kicked in, it was like, yeah, it would have been a bit of a struggle
yeah, for sure.
traveling and all that. But it's good to see you're good, man, and all that.
Yeah, man.
How was the finals anyway? I watched that game online.
It was, man, I think like from like a spectator standpoint, like it had to be like amazing, like with everything that followed going into quarantine, like no more basketball anywhere in the
Yeah,
world after that, and you be able to go out with a game like that. Like it was
it's
amazing
mad.
from a spectator when I went and watched it back, and then being involved in it, it was just amazing. Like the storyline behind it all,
Yeah,
like you know, with us having half our team and two of our
yeah.
guys coming off an injury, like it was just poetic justice in my mind, and it was fun, man. It was fun, and be able to lift that trophy, and to be honest, to be able now that the BBL officially, you know, made the announcement that the league's over, we finish as the champs. You know, not the league champs, but we're the last
But
team
the
standing,
trophy
basically.
champs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I watched that game on BBC live. It was nerve-wracking for me. It was like, oh, they scored. Oh my God, they got. I was like, oh, they got scored to go to overtime. They scored. I'm like, oh, it's overtime. I was like, oh no, this is crazy. I was just,
First of all,
and I was,
who were you rooting for is the real question.
you know what, right? It was one of those ones. Whoever won it would have been a good one, man.
You can
I
keep it
love
100. It's
it.
all good. It's all good.
Yeah, man, both teams were doing well, man. So it was good. But I knew, obviously, you lot had the experience, so experience was gonna come through eventually. But
Yeah,
it was a nerve-wracking game, man. I was on the
yeah.
train as well watching it, so I was screaming, and people were looking at me like I was crazy. I was like, I'm watching basketball, no way.
It was theatric, man. Back and forth, play after play. Like it was crazy, man.
They
That
put
was
up a
great.
fight, man. It was a good. It was a good game, man. Lovely,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Congratulations to you lot.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
man. So getting into it, man. Where is it you grew up then, though, man?
I'm actually from the place where uh, George Floyd is from, Houston, Texas. So I'm from an area called Katy, Texas, which is a suburban
Yeah.
area outside of Houston. And yeah, man, so I'm from Houston. I mean, I lived a lot of different places. I'm a military kid. My dad did
Okay.
22 years in the Army, so I moved everywhere, but we ultimately ended up settling in Houston. That's where my family's from anyway. So after moving, living in Germany, Kentucky, Tennessee, we ended up settling back in Texas.
All right, Texas. All right. And that's where some of the other guys are from, the Thugs and the Mike Jones
There
and
you
all them.
go.
Yeah,
Paul
yeah.
Wall,
But,
Beyonce,
yeah, but
Kelly
oh yeah,
Rowland, go
Beyonce.
down. Yeah,
Yeah,
Beyonce like
yeah.
15
But
minutes from me.
damn.
Yeah, right up
So
the street.
what was you at Dallas, San Antonio, Houston?
Oh, Houston, all day, all day. If yeah, if someone heard me claim Dallas, like, they might be protesting outside my door. That's how serious it is. Yeah, man. You Houstonians, we got to rock the Houston. And the thing is, people don't realize, like, we got Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin,
Yeah,
but they're all really far. Like, I'm 4 hours from Dallas, so it's not
it's
close.
it's it's far. Yeah, they're not. They're
Yeah,
very big. They're very big distances
yeah.
away. They're not
Texas is
close.
a huge state, so everywhere is really, really far.
It's like basically that's like going from London to Newcastle to Dallas and Texas distance. That
Pr-
is a
Pretty much, pretty
that is,
much. Yep,
it's
big
not
difference.
close.
You're
That's a
just not gonna hop in your car and drive to Newcastle, are you? From London.
no.
That's
Got a plan.
you gotta exactly you gotta plan that. So if you're going to Dallas, you better plan it. Ain't no, oh, let's go to Dallas today. Nah, you gotta plan that.
Nah, we got to plan that, right?
Yeah,
Yo, we do
yeah,
next week. Yeah, I'm going to Newcastle next week. Yeah, we go next
yeah,
week.
exactly. And you better get your hotel because you ain't going and coming back in the
No,
same day either.
no, no.
Yeah,
If you're gonna do that in the same day business, you gotta be leaving early in the morning and the last train at night. Other than that, it's not
yeah,
happening.
yeah,
Not
exactly.
happening. Oh man. So when did you get into basketball, man?
Well, my first memories of hooping was when I was in Germany. I played for a little club team there, and then when I moved back to the States, I started following Michael Jordan. That's when I first kind of learned about Michael Jordan, and then
Yeah.
that's when I like really took it seriously. That's when I fell in love with it. MJ became my hero, and that's when I wanted to be an NBA player. I wanted basketball to be my life. So that's kind of where that came from. And it's kind of fitting that
Yeah, yeah.
the Last Dance has just wrapped up. So it's been great for me,
Oh
man, to
man.
see my hero behind the scenes. Like, it's been amazing, man.
I didn't want that to end, man. I wanted that to keep going.
Man, I could have easily watched 50 episodes. I got one more to watch, and I'm saving it to 2021 just so I don't want it to be over with.
Saving that.
I'm
Save it while
saving
you
it.
can.
I got it in the back pocket, man.
Stay in
Yeah.
the stash. Yeah, I hear
Yeah.
that. I hear that. So what was your first basketball experience? You remember?
My very first, I just, like, growing up in Germany, I don't remember playing basketball that often. I just remember being part of a team, and I just remember, like, one practice, after practice, the whole team got some, like, popsicles or whatever.
Yeah.
Dad brought some popsicles, and then we were driving back home, and me and my friend was in the front seat, and as we're driving, we went over some train tracks, and our door kind of flew open. So,
Yeah.
and I remember, like, my dad driving and, like, trying to close the door, and yeah, so
Oh damn.
that's my first memory of really playing until I got to back to the States, and then that's when I obviously started playing more regularly. But yeah, that's my first memory of me playing,
Okay.
man.
That's dope, man. And then afterwards you went to high school. What college did you play at?
I played at a school called Point Loma Nazarene University, which is in
Yeah.
San Diego, California, right on the cliffs. It's a beautiful school, man. So, I was able to play there coming from Houston. It wasn't easy. Like, my high school journey was crazy. I sat the bench a lot, you know,
Oh right.
didn't get a lot of love. It wasn't like I was one of these top players in the country, like a lot of guys that you see. Like, I was just an average player, just working hard, good old fashioned hard work, and just
Yeah.
played through adversity. Even, a lot of people in my position, they usually quit or give up when they're not playing. They're sitting on the bench, not getting an opportunity. But I just stuck with it, man, and, ended up parlaying that into a college scholarship.
All right, right. And then how many years at college? Was it 4 years, right?
Yeah, 4 years
Yeah.
out there in San Diego. The school at the time was NAIA.
Yeah.
Now they are Division II, and they actually last year they actually had a guy that made it to the NBA, plays for the Spurs now. So yeah, man, that school's come a long way. Went from NAIA to a predominant big time D2 school. So made it to the
Oh, that's dope.
championship game last year. So yeah, man, Point
And,
Loma's on the map now.
and at the same school, Kawhi Leonard went to as well. Was that a different one in San
No,
Diego?
he went to San Diego State. So that's
Okay.
literally about 10 minutes away. Huge difference. San Diego State's a huge school,
Yeah.
but it's right up the street. But Kawhi is younger than me, so he wasn't
He
there when
wasn't
I was.
around.
He wasn't even thought
Yeah.
of when I was in college, man. I finished
Yeah.
college a long time ago.
Then you finished college, and then afterwards, came over to UK, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that journey was crazy. I was a two-time All-American in college, had great stats,
Yeah,
led the league in rebounding as a guard. And, when it came to getting contracts, a lot of the coaches, I always came down to me and another guy, never got the job. And, they basically said my stats wouldn't translate because I played a small Division II school. I mean, a small NAIA school. So,
yeah,
I ended up having to go with a traveling team called Athletes in Action and travel with them for a year, man, across the world. We went Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Israel. So basically, I had to go put my talent in front of coaches because the resume wasn't enough. And on the very last leg of the trip, which is a year after I graduated,
yeah,
we went to Coventry and we had a workout there. It was supposed to be all these but BBL coaches, English coaches, and there
yeah.
was only one, Gary Stronach. And,
One coach.
one coach, and 15 minutes
Damn.
into the workout, 20 minutes, I pulled my hamstring. So I'm done. So I'm thinking, man, this is over with. I've been doing this for a year. So, I guess it's time to go look for a job. But after that session, Gary had a coach with my conversation with my coach and wanted to speak further. And I was surprised because, like I said, I only had practice for 20 minutes. And yeah, man, he asked for some tape, and the rest is history. So if it wasn't for Gary Stronach, you would have never heard of Drew Lasker.
Oh, was it so when you went to Coventry, what team was it for you went to first? Was Plymouth the team you went to first, or was it Newcastle you've been at your
No, it was
career?
Plymouth. He was the coach of Plymouth. He had drove
Yeah,
up to Coventry to kind of scout some talent, look for some
that's a
talent.
far
So
drive, boy.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
You're
So
driving from nothing, but he's coming back with something.
yeah, I mean, but you have to imagine though, these are the
Yeah,
times when I first came in the league, there was no, YouTube and all this other stuff. Like,
yeah, yeah,
coach had to drive to scout teams. I remember he would have to drive down to London to go scout the London Towers because it wasn't like the games were on TV.
yeah, yeah.
It took like 3 days for guys to send VHS tapes, 3 business days. So he had to drive to Sheffield, all these places, and go scout, man.
And how was that though? Like from obviously I knew what it was like as well for some of you guys, but from your perspective, how hard was it to get noticed without all this social media and YouTube now that we all have all this stuff you access? How hard was it for you? And what was it like going to the tryouts with that mindset, like, right, I've got to play because if I
Yeah.
don't if I don't show what I can do now, I might not get this opportunity again. As where now they can look at tapes and go, oh, you can do this, you can do that, I'll take him.
Yeah. I mean, well, back then they could still do that for the bigger schools, like the big UCLAs, the Dukes that's on TV all the time. But
Yeah,
for smaller schools, guys from smaller schools, it was tougher to get discovered because it wasn't, you know, all these resources on. Now, if you're good, it's going to be hard to not be discovered because there's so much footage out there. But back then, like when I was told, my stats wasn't translating or would translate, I just had the mindset of, okay, well, take me over there and let me go show you. Like I
yeah,
thrived for the opportunity to play in front of coaches because I was like, they get to see me. Like that's even better than tape. Like, so, I was
true.
excited about that. I was so excited about the challenge.
Yeah, man. And then afterwards, Plymouth, talk us through that whole transition. So think about this now. So you're now coming from the US and you're going into the UK. How was that whole transition for you after you spoke to the coach and you went to Plymouth?
Well, man, after I was thrilled, man. It was like a relief. I went a year, chasing this dream. I was working full time because these trips that we took, they were like every other month. So I go back to Houston. I had moved back to Houston from San Diego with my grandma. I was
Yeah,
working at Enterprise, rent a car, and getting up at 4:30, going to Lyft, work 11-hour shift, go back to the gym, go shoot, work on my game. So I did that for a year, man. So when I finally got that contract, it was like a relief, and I was like,
yeah,
I had the mindset that okay, now I'm here. Now the next challenge is I got to stay, I got to keep it. And that first year in Plymouth, it wasn't easy, man, because I had still some lingering issues from the
absolutely.
injury that I suffered in that camp. And so I was not myself. We were 1-11. We were losing. And then on top of that, my grandma had passed. So I actually ended up having to go back home. And shout out to
Oh,
Gary Stronach, man, because like usually any other team, any profession, you're 1-11. That's a perfect opportunity for them to cut and bring in somebody
that's
fresh.
true.
But he told me, he said, take as much time as you want, go back, he even paid for my flight home. And I got a chance to kind of hit the reset button, get my hamstring healthy, get my mind right, and then come back. And we went on a run. We went on a hell of a run. We ended up finishing one game out of the playoffs behind Brighton. So,
Brighton at the time, yeah.
That's what Nick Nurse. Yeah. Shout out to Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse was the coach at Brighton. We finished one game behind them, and that was a fun year, man. That's before Plymouth was Plymouth now. Like Plymouth at the time was just happy to be in the BBL. It was their second year in the BBL. So
Okay.
it was like, God, we were like, we were professionals, but like it wasn't as serious as it is now. People were just happy we were in the BBL. So there wasn't any pressure. We just had to go and play. So, that was fun, man.
They're the only professional team in Plymouth at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good though. So
Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.